Swindells' 100 leads Leicestershire reply. Somerset's excellent position heading into day 3 is largely thanks to their lower order. 242 runs added for the loss of just 2 wickets. Craig Overton had picked up wickets too, but the hosts would have to do without him. Out of the squad and into the England team with their sudden COVID crisis. Ackerman and Inglis picked up where they left off and ticked the score over to 100 runs early in the day. 3 figures on the board, some comfort for the visitors. But it wouldn't be too long before Somerset returned to their wicket-taking ways, even without Overton in their ranks. Inglis left a straight one from Brooks, out LBW. Ackerman responded. Quick boundaries took him into the 40s. Aldridge, making his debut with the captain's departure, a favourite target of the Leicestershire skipper. They breached 150 runs a little more than an hour after play resumed, but the visitors still trailed by over 300 runs. Ackerman had his 50 soon after, 3 runs off De Lange taking him to the mark from 130 deliveries. The captain was doing what he could to show some resistance. And the 5th wicket partnership joined him on 50. They were refusing to be separated and making a real go of it for the Foxes. They'd make it to 175 for 4. A good morning for Leicestershire despite the early loss of Inglis. Lunch taken amid the threat of rain. They'd get back out there without delay though, and Somerset found the 5th wicket. Ackerman departed for 67, bowled by De Lange. Mike and Swindells looked to drag the score to 200 runs, and they do so successfully. The mark reached when Mike found the boundary off Lammonby. This was an effective partnership, and just what Swindells needed. Over 2 hours at the crease, culminated in a 50. The partnership was also worth a half-century of runs, Somerset hitting a speed bump with the 6th wicket pair. They refused to be beaten, the score continuing to grow, and Mike hitting his straps at the other end. Up into the 40s soon after 250 runs had gone up on the board. That's as far as he would make it though. Out De Lange for 40. Leicestershire now 7 down, and still in need of 55 if they were to avoid the follow-on. Parkinson too fell to De Lange. A short ball did the trick, and Conway was agile in the slips. It was up to Swindells then to keep them going, and he was playing well, up against it, but into the 80s before the break. Leicestershire were in trouble at tea at 290 for 7. His wicket looked key. He and Barnes did well after tea, 300 up on the board, and the threat of the follow-on dealt with. With the deficit now below 150, attention turned to Swindells, now in the 90s and hunting 100. And he'd get there. A key cog in Leicestershire's resistance, he found his way to the milestone when De Lange disappeared over the offside for 4. The Foxes took a leaf out of their host's playbook and began to accelerate. Swindells already on 100, and now Barnes was starting to hunt a big score of his own. And he was granted it too, a 4 off Van der Merwe taking him to 50 runs, and the value of the partnership to 100. Bad light would scupper their progress. They were trailing by 71 with a score 390 for 7, and no further play was possible. Leicestershire had done what they set out to. Somerset frustrated, and some bonus points added for the visitors. If they keep up this form tomorrow morning, the draw looks to be the most likely outcome. Less than ideal for the hosts.